Hey, this is Brian Johnson, and welcome. I finally got my Facebook working again. I've had multiple challenges slash experiences that have inhibited me from being on Facebook all day. What's up, Audrey Nicole? So literally, this is like the third time I've been hacked in the last month and a half. So there are big things going on, which is the most important part. So hey, welcome. I'm super enthusiastic and finally awake to be sharing. What's up, Miss Vicky Webb, Greg, Brent, Audrey? Nice to talk to you again. Tonight I have really something very special for you. I think you're going to find it extremely interesting. I think you're going to find it extremely valuable because one thing I can share with you as a human being and as me being myself is that I'll speak for myself, can be judging machines. Meaning constantly like thinking, oh, I don't like the way I feel in my shorts, my pants feel too tight. Why did I eat all that last night? What was I thinking? Why is that person wearing that? On and on and on and on. And a lot of times we think that that's just really normal. And it is normal until you understand that there's another way that yields a significantly different result on the other side. So tonight I'm actually going to get into, what's up, Deborah? Tonight I'm actually going to get into one easy step that you can do, you can implement, you can integrate, and you can watch your world change in quantum levels. And of course, first, I get to lay some groundwork for you first because there are some things that we're going to discuss to help you identify, be aware, recognize, and some framework that I get to share with you first so that you actually can start to understand what I'm sharing with you and you can integrate it into your life. So without further ado, just to kind of give you a quick backdrop on myself, I literally have about 28 minutes to share this information with you. And I'm just grateful to actually be able to use my Facebook again because I haven't been able to use it all day. It felt kind of naked almost. So tonight, this information is near and dear to my heart because for those of you that have been connected with me for a while, you know that I share I think some extremely valuable wisdom and information. For those that use it, your lives will be changed. For those of you that have been connecting me for a while and use it, you know your lives have been dramatically different. So tonight I'm going to share with you one of the most valuable things that has been shared with me. I'm going to share with you the one skill set, the tactic, the idea, the wisdom, the nugget that you can integrate when you find yourself judging and you can make a shift. What that means is you're not taking on all the karmic things that you're judging in people, in yourself, and other people. What's up, T-Bree? You're able to shift and you're able to function at significantly higher levels because of what you're able to do by the tactic I'm going to share with you. So if this is your first time tonight, do me a favor and just type a yes in the comment section. If you are a regular, let's just say something fantastic, do some little emojis or whatever. And hey, I would really appreciate it if you know how. Tammy showed me how, and what's up, Mandy? What's up, Tammy? And Audrey showed me how. But if you would, I would appreciate it if you would please share my message. I know a lot of you are very well connected with me, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I have conversations with a lot of you independently outside of what we're doing right now, and I'm just grateful for you, and I honor you if you're investing your time with me, and I don't take that lightly. Lightly. Likely. I saw a thumb go across the page, so I kind of got likely. So I really appreciate the time that we get to share together, and I do my best always to invest amazing wisdom and information in you so that you can use it, and ultimately so you can use it right now. Because if you can't use information right now, it doesn't really do you any good because the only time I can guarantee you that we have is right now. So when is now a good time to be open-minded and to be in a position to give yourself permission to receive wisdom and information from those and the people that may be in your lives for purpose? And have you ever heard the saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears? I firmly agree with that because I've had multiple experiences on my own. I can, body language. With my own coaches showing up at specific times when I required specific pieces of information on my journey to integrate and to fill the gaps of some gray areas that I had that were not knowing to me. What's up, Jason? I appreciate you. So let's get to work. Let's have some fun. If you're not connected with me, connect with me on thinkgreatloseweight.com. The best thing for you to do is to connect with me on my email list. That way you get the replays, you get the videos that I send out, and they're automatically dropped off to you. If you choose to do that, when I get finished with this video, I will post a link in the video before I share it to where you can actually register on an email list and get access to all the cool stuff that we put out. And I appreciate your support. I love each one of you. I'm grateful for you sharing the things that I discuss, because ultimately, what's up, Sean? I haven't forgot about you, bro. I love you, man. Just so you know, I haven't forgot about you. I've been thinking about you today. We'll set a time this week to connect. It's been kind of crazy. My goal, so you know, so we're on the same page, is to serve 200 million people. Yes, that's a lot of people. And my most important mission is to serve each of you and make such an impact in your life that you feel compelled to share my message with someone else. Because just like you and just like me, there have been times that messages that have been shared with me that have been right on time with what I needed and have made a massive difference in how I was able to show up, and also have been a massive difference and massive opportunity to help other people show up as well as we're able to do because of the skill sets and the tools. So what's up, Miss Terry? So let's get to work. So the first thing that needs or gets to happen in order for us to recognize that we are judging, whether we're judging ourselves or whether we're judging someone else, the number one thing that gets to happen, this is not your tactic, this is not the goal yet, this is just the framework. The number one thing that gets to happen is we get to be aware. If you're going about your day and you find yourself judging someone and you're not aware and you're just saying, oh, well, this is just what it is. Well, if you're not aware, then you're automatically asleep. My commitment to you is to inspire you and your spirit and your God selves to rise up and awake, because there is a world that is depending upon you and I to support and to help them to do the same. So first thing you must be is aware. Aware that you're judging yourself. So let's just go through some hypothetical. Let's go through some what ifs. What if you get up in the morning and your pants don't fit? What are some of the stories that are going on in your head? Or what happens when your partner says something and you fly off the handle? What happens when you go to work and you have an interaction with someone who's not so polite? What's up, Craig Garcia? Long time, bro. What happens when these things happen? What are the stories that go on? All of those stories are judgments. Not wrong, they're just judgments. They're judgments of experiences that we've had in life. They're judgments of experiences we've had in relationships. They're judgments of what we've seen growing up and what we know to be quote unquote real. All of these and all of this is awareness. Awareness is key. Awareness is being awake. It's being aware. It's being objective to how your life is going. It's being objective to what type of thoughts you're having. It's being objective to how you feel when someone says something to you and you're triggered. It's being open-minded enough to say, I wonder why I feel that way. What's up, Gabe? Been following your videos, brother. Hopefully you're doing well. Awareness. There's a beautiful question that I use often, and the question is this: I wonder what this means. Or I wonder what this gets to turn into. I wonder why I feel this way. I wonder is an amazing question because it gets us out of our egoic mind. It gets out of our egoic mind and it allows us to connect with our spirit. It allows us to connect with our subconscious. Our subconscious, no matter who, our subconscious, like to kind of give you an idea, out of a circle, like out of a 100% of a pie, our subconscious is all of it except for this little bitty sliver right here. Like literally 99.0006% is what our subconscious accounts for. That is a massive amount of power. Our thinker or our conscious mind is only 0.004% of that other puzzle. Now, what exactly does that mean? What exactly that means is everybody's subconscious remembers every experience and situation that has ever happened in your life. Ever. Doesn't go away. It is crystallized in your body, in different areas of your body, each memory, each experience, each experience you've had in relationships, each heavy-duty emotional experience, all of these are crystallized all within our body, and we remember them. And most importantly, we are filtering our life and our experiences off of past experiences. So if you find yourself, maybe there was an experience that happened with mom and dad when you had a bad falling out with dad when you were like 3 years old. Maybe something happened, there was a high level of emotional involvement, and what happens is, say for example, you're 30 years old now, and you're having a conversation with your partner, which happens to be a male, and all of a sudden you have something that happens and you get triggered. That is because of the experience that was never resolved, loved, and made new, revised, reversed, revisioned, that happened when you were 3 years old. Not wrong. It just gives us feedback. Okay? So awareness, I wonder. Those are two. Second thing, one of the most important things you hear me talk about often is body language. It's like literally using your body, which is where your subconscious is housed, which is where all your information, your emotional information is connected. So you see me doing this, that's I can. I will. I'm seeing differently. Like all of this stuff is going on while I'm having a conversation with you, and at the same time, something is going on within your body. And when you're walking down the road and you find yourself judging yourself or someone, it's very important. The first thing is to say, oh wow, I wonder why I'm judging this person. What within me do I dislike? Because here's the deal. Yes. What happens is there's a saying, I got this from one of my coaches, Marcy Locke, and one of my good friends, Marcy Locke, and former coaches, Chris Stubbs. The saying is this: if you caught it, you got it. Meaning if you point something out in someone else, you have that on some level. The reason why you can point it out in someone else is because everything is holographic. And it never fails. Every time I have been judging someone else, even though I'm pretty awesome at most times, every time I've been judging someone else, it's because I've been unhappy within myself. What that means is this: as you notice yourself judging more and judging more, there are things within you that you have not accepted and loved exactly where you're at. And I'll be honest with you, until you're able to do that, until you're able to give yourself full permission to love and accept everything about you, you will be functioning from a faulty foundation, and everything will be built in fear, and everything will be built in sabotage. Your relationship, your money, your spiritual connection, anything and everything you have will be built in fear and will be built in faulty foundation and will fail. Anything less than your highest choice is sabotage automatically. Not wrong, just feedback, right? So, number 3, let's talk about this. So once you have identified that you are triggered and you are reacting off of something and you are judging someone, the first thing you get to ask yourself, remember, is I wonder. The second thing is, I wonder when this has happened to me the first time. When has this experience happened to me the first time that's allowing me to be triggered right now? Like, why am I acting this way? When did this happen to me the first time? Once you can identify the first time, well, then you can go back and resolve the issue. Once you identify the first time and you do the work on it and you resolve it, literally, you are literally dissolving the crystal of that memory out of your system, and therefore you are no longer reacting off of it. You are responding to it. You have a response ability versus a reaction. Most people are reactionary. A lot of people are reactionary. Myself included used to be reactionary. And there are still times when I am reactionary. I give myself permission to be fully authentic with you. I am not perfect. I do know some amazing skill sets and some amazing tactics and tools that I get to use that really allow me to function and thrive on peak levels consistently over most of the people that I'm aware of. And you have the same ability, and I am sharing these skill sets with you now. Some of them, you catch any of my trainings, you get the same skill sets that I use consistently. And unless you are committed to being your best and committed to being your highest choice and committed to memorizing to where you are subconsciously competent, the skill sets and the things that I'm sharing with you, you will not be able to come out of the reactionary phase. and enter into the responsibility phase. It's completely doable. It just takes you being committed to your outcome and you saying, you know what? I only have one life. I'm only living on our awesome planet Earth one time. I am willing to experience the pain to ultimately have my pleasure. Yes, I am. You may make that same commitment yourself, and when that happens, then things will start to line up and show up in your life, and skill sets and things necessary to make that happen will definitely be a part of your growth process. Water time, everyone. That was tasty. All right, so you heard me talk just a minute about self-acceptance. Honestly, if I'm going to ask you a question right now, and this is a reply is required on this question, and I can't open my computer because Facebook doesn't work on my computer. Thank God it opens on my phone. So here's your question. Answer my question with a yes or a no response, please. This is very important for your health. I'm going to ask you a question, and your response is either going to be a yes or a no. Here is your question. Do you love yourself? Yes or no? This is not wrong. Just be completely authentic with where you're at. It's important that you be truthful and honest with where you're at so you're functioning in your current level of reality. If you lie to yourself, you're totally just crapping on yourself. It's not going to do you any good. So just give yourself permission to be fully yourself. There's no judgment here. So question is, do you love yourself? Response is required or yes and no. And I'm going to wait a minute just so everyone kind of trickles in so I can kind of see where you're at. Because depending upon where you're at, it's going to be indicative of where I get to take you next. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of you know the story when I was suicidal. When I was in my early 20s, my coach asked me the question, Brian, do you love yourself, back in my early 30s? And honestly, I didn't answer yes. I didn't know yes. I was like, sure, yeah, of course I love myself. I didn't. I had no idea. I had no idea that I didn't love myself for 10 years. I was like, really? You mean there's another level to this? That's fascinating. I can't get any comments right now. For some reason, my phone locks up. So it's really interesting. Can you get on Facebook? What? Can you get on Facebook? Pull my computer open. You can't do it from there anyway. Never mind. You have to have your own account. I'm getting my daughter to hop on Facebook so she can give me the accounts. Give me the comments because I can't see them. My phone only goes to a certain amount of them. But anyways, here's what I'm going to do. Is a lot of you have already heard me talk about the time where I was suicidal. And honestly, like, I thought I loved myself. And I did not. And I didn't know. I was like, there's another level to this. I was like, please share me. Please help me. Help me help you. Like, beam me up, right? So the whole part of me getting you or inviting you to use a yes or a no response is because the only true communication that actually exists is yes or no. Sure, yeah, absolutely, of course. That's nothing. That does not communicate yes, and that does not communicate no. Absolutely no, absolutely yes. That's different. Using yes or no's is very important so you are consciously and subconsciously aligned. Remember our little picture? Subconscious is all of this, and conscious mind is this. Very important so that both of those pieces are aligned, and that only happens with conscious communication. Yes, no. Now, if you don't love yourself, and we're talking about self-acceptance, this is the first place that we get to reconnect in our lives. This is the most important thing that you can do for you. If you don't love yourself, you're going to get more experiences of people that show up. Experiences, circumstances, situations, and events that show up that are going to match you not feeling loving, you not feeling worthy, pain, anger, all of that. And what happens is if you don't love yourself, when you get into a relationship that seems too good, or when something, life throws you a bone, and you are like, man, this is too good, guess what happens? You're going to sabotage it. I totally did all of that. And totally. And when I looked back after my coach pointed this stuff out, I was like, oh man, yeah. totally sabotaged myself. I was in great places, totally sabotaged myself. As soon as I got happy, as soon as I got comfortable and things were going great, flushed it right down the crapper because I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't love myself. I didn't think I was worthy of having that kind of stuff. So, of course, I'm going to push it away. Not wrong. My question to you is this. Does my story resonate with you? Do you find yourself having any of the same experiences in your life right now? If you do, awesome. Because I'm giving you the tools necessary to solve it right now. So give yourself permission to be open-minded. Give yourself permission to receive the message that I'm sharing with you. Make a decision. Trust me and follow my advice. I've been there and I've done that. I'm giving you the shortcut. I went through a lot of craziness to find out what I know now. My invitation to you is don't do that. Trust me, learn from my mistakes. You can learn by wisdom or you can learn by experience. Experience means you disregard everything that I say and you go do all this shit on your own and you find out you know exactly what I'm talking about. You sabotage everything, you screw everything up and you push everything away. My encouragement to you is to be wise. Learn from wisdom. Learn from the stories that I'm telling you. Trust me and use my wisdom for you. My dad has a very wise saying I love, and I'm going to share it with you. Are you ready? Dad, I love you. Mom, my mom may be on here too. This is funny. I tell my clients this all the time. One day I'm having a conversation with my dad, and he goes, I was doing something, and I don't remember what I was doing. Probably wasn't doing something correctly. Blessings, attorney. And my dad goes, boy, if you're not going to use your head, you may as well have two asses. So, well, you kind of got a good point. I agree with you. I recommit to using my head. Okay? So, my question is, if you don't love yourself, it's totally okay. Your homework and your action step right now is to trace back to the first time when you ever questioned the love for yourself. As a God-created spiritual creature, when we don't love ourselves, we are automatically, fundamentally out of alignment with who God created us as perfect spiritual beings. Our physical bodies are flawed. Our brains are flawed. That's the flawless part of our body. Cancel. That's the flawed part of our body. Our spirit, our subconscious, that is the perfect part of our body. So when we align with that, loving ourselves, giving ourselves full permission to partner with ourselves, that's when you step into your full I am that I am authoritative experience. Highest conscious self. All right? We're going to cruise forward a little bit more now. Now, you heard me talk about this. If you see someone and you're judging them and you point her at, or you're not even pointing them at them, but you're noticing that you're triggered, you're like, man, this person, I feel really upset around this person. This person irritates me. I understand that one. That's you, meaning you are irritated because this person is doing something that you do that you dislike about yourself. The only issue is that you can see it in them because it's outside of you. You're just not to a position where you're relating it to yourself that you actually do that yourself. My invitation to you is I just gave you some gold. So next time you find yourself judging someone else, immediately say, all right, what do I get to change about myself? What am I unhappy about that I see this person doing? How can I change that? I wonder what this turns into. All right? How we doing so far? I'm getting a sip. What most people don't understand is when we're constantly judging people, we're literally taking on all of that. We're taking on all of that negative energy. Whatever you judge about someone else, you and I are taking on. You take it on karmically. When you start taking all this negative excess energy on, what happens is your life starts to indicate that in the form of the experiences that show up, in the form of the quality of people that show up, in the form of the circumstances that show up, in the form of the experiences, and in the form of the events that show up. Our judgment, not excluding, I am including myself. When we judge people Pay attention. Look at your outer world in the form of the people, the quality of them, the experiences, meaning what's going on and what those experiences create in your life. Do they create anger? Do they create bitterness? Do they create sadness? Do they create happiness, joy, and enthusiasm? No matter what it is on that spectrum, if you're judging people, pay attention because you're taking on all that stuff. Now, we've done a lot of talk about judging, about what not to do. Are you ready and open-minded to the solution of what you get to do as your tool and your tactic to stop judging people and yourself? Are you ready to have the tool and tactic to empower yourself and others to be your best, highest self? Naturally, I'm sure that's a yes, right? Awesome. So let's talk about this. You cannot stop doing something. Typically, when you have a habit that is not serving you, you don't just stop it. You typically retrain your mind to change the habit, to change the energy of the habit. Okay? The most important part, or really one of the most important parts is this, is, I think Einstein said this. This is a fact. Whoever said it, Einstein, Tesla, whatever, it doesn't matter for the most part. Basics is this, is an energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Judgment is a form of energy. It's a negative energy. It cannot be created nor destroyed. So you cannot just stop it and it's going to go away. What that means is you have to have some type of tool, tactic, or antic to notice that, be aware of it, and to implement the tool to shift the energy of the judgment into something that empowers yourself, something that empowers the people that you're judging, so that you can move forward and upgrade your level of functioning, upgrade your experiences, upgrade the people that show up in your life, upgrade your relationships, upgrade your career, upgrade your monetary exchange for the value you bring to the planet, upgrade your spiritual connection with God, with family, with earth, with whatever works for you. In order for that to happen, there must be a tool that takes the judgment from a negative into a positive. And that tool is this. I'm about to share with you. It seems like every time I share one of my tools, I'm like, man, this is one of the most favorite ones that I have. And this one is like literally one of the best ones. And honestly, they're all amazing. Like they all have changed my life. And this one, if you use it, if you trust me, if you implement it, because you know as well as I do, you've heard me say this, knowledge is not power. Knowledge is absolutely useless if you don't use it consistently. Like, if you don't use what I'm about to tell you tonight, moving forward, you have completely wasted your time and taken my wisdom I'm sharing with you in vain. And I know that's not the case. So here's your tactic. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to use the simple words, I vote my victory, or I vote that person's victory. So here's some real life experience, right? You're walking down the road. You walk into the grocery store. You see this lady with a hideous purse, and you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe you left the house wearing that purse with those shoes. And you're like, I'm judging her. Oh my gosh, I wonder why I'm upset at myself. What do I dislike about myself? I wonder what this turns into. Man, totally. I vote my victory and I vote her victory. And I bless her and I bless myself and I give myself permission to understand where I am unhappy with myself. Then you can do body language, you can do regression and figuring out the experiences, whatever that means. It doesn't matter what that is. Another example, I'm going to use me for example. I get up in the morning, I try to put some shorts on because I don't, cancel. Blessedly, I have created my life so that I don't have to wear a lot of pants. I wear Lululemon stuff 100% of the time, and that's my preference. And sometimes my Lululemon pants may be a little bit tighter than others. And when that happens, I have a tendency to be rather uptight, harsh, judgmental towards myself. So when that happens and I find myself in that story, immediately say, oh wow, I notice I'm judging myself. That's amazing. I give myself permission to forgive myself. I vote my victory. I give myself permission to forgive myself for the pizzas and the pies that I ate last night, and it's okay. I give myself permission to recommit to my outcome. I give myself permission to recommit to my health and wellness goals, and I give myself permission to move forward right now. And I vote my victory. All I did was I completely took that whole experience, identified it, circled it, meaning got really specific with what it is that I was having an issue with, and then implement tactic. Implement tactic, and I give myself permission. I wonder why I am judging myself. I wonder what this turns into. And I vote my victory. What voting victory means is this. Voting victory, this is Bob Tennyson Stevens, my coach. I don't take credit for it, and I'm sharing it with you, and I give credit to my coach because he's an absolutely amazing human being, and I'm super grateful for him. Voting victory is the direct opposite of judgment. It's the direct opposite of judgment. Just like sadness is joy. Fear is courage. Anger is my forgiveness. Apathy, which means I don't care or this is difficult, that is, I choose to make this fun and easy, or care and ease returning. Every energy on the planet, negative or positive, has an alternative counterpart. My suggestion to you is once you can identify your current level of reality, meaning being authentic with yourself, using body language to identify where you're functioning at. If you don't know where you're functioning at, our body language training will be quantum level helpful for you to understand exactly where you're at and what to do to shift it. If you don't shift it, it doesn't get shift. Then what happens is you wonder why you're getting all this shift that shows up in life in the form of people that are shifty, experiences that are shifty. The way that you feel is shifty. What happens is if you don't identify where you're functioning at and you're just reacting off of life, you have no power. You're not in your conscious creator mode. When you can identify where you're functioning emotionally, authentically and correctly because you're understanding what your body is telling you, well then and only then can you make a shift. And honestly, if I were to sit here and tell you it would be difficult to do it, I'd totally be lying to you. It's probably one of the easiest things to do. The hardest thing to do is this. You giving yourself permission to actually receive how simple it actually is. You giving yourself permission to love yourself. You giving yourself permission to accept yourself right where you're at and understand that God has already forgiven you. We are the last persons to receive it. So, take my advice. Just trust me. Try it out. Give yourself permission to integrate the tactic that I talked about. Give yourself permission to reconnect with yourself. Give yourself permission to come back home. Most people are not home in their body. I wasn't for a long time. I didn't want to be there. I'd rather be high or drunk or just doing something stupid. My invitation to you is this. We're in a very critical time on our planet. And it's going to take every one of us uniting in your higher stated conscious self. Not showing up as someone who's half, looking to get into a relationship with someone who's a half so you can think you're going to make a whole, and all you're doing is really making an entanglement that's not serving either one of you. I know because I've been in these. I was one of those. I'm offering you the skill sets and the opportunity to make these advancements and changes in your life, and it doesn't take years to do it. It takes a conscious decision of saying, you know what, I'm in, and I'm voting my victory. I'm giving myself permission to forgive myself. I'm reconnecting with myself, and I'm claiming my full authority right now. And I give myself permission to move forward. Hey, fuck it, you're in the race. Look out. Is there any questions specifically that anyone has? I don't know if I can get your questions. I will when I get off my training. I'll go back and check them out. Hopefully you got some good value out of tonight. I really have a very limited amount of notes because I didn't know I was going to be able to do any training until literally 5 minutes ago. I've been thinking about this message for the last 2 days, and I really desired to share it with you because if there's anything that I can do, and if there's anything that I can share, and if there's anything I can impart with you, is to impart the fact that you are a conscious creator. There is nothing that you cannot do when you set your mind to it and you are in alignment with who you are and you are speaking your heart's truth. Your language choice will be the #1 factor into whether you're creating or whether you are destroying your life. Beauty of that is it's your mouth. You figure out what you want to do with it and then make a choice. If you're looking to integrate the tools and the skill sets that we have tons of trainings that will help you to do all of that. Conscious language, emotional breakthrough work, body language, disease reversal, nutrition work, like we have it all. The main thing you get to do is understand that you are worth investing in yourself. Consider your investment a tuition in the advancement of your consciousness and your soul, because ultimately that's what it is. So that's all I have right now. I think what I'm going to offer you is this. I think it's important for me to always offer you some type of extension in your training and your tuition, or I would not be serving you. Here's what I'm going to offer you. I think that our emotional breakthrough training will serve you best tonight. It's literally going to go through and help you to identify where you're off your mark through your word choices, identifying word phrases that you're using, and giving you options to change it into. When I say language is key, think about it like this. If you had a huge, massive ship in the ocean, the big aircraft carriers, the smallest thing is the rudder on the boat, and that's what actually controls where the whole boat goes. Same way with our body. The tongue, by our words we are justified, and by our words we are condemned. How helpful would it be for you to recognize what you're doing and saying that is completely debilitating you and your ability to produce your outcomes, whether it's your amazing relationships, whether it's empowering yourself to take action, whether it's forgiving yourself for past experiences, whatever it may be. Emotional breakthrough training is what's going to take for you to thrive and to get clear on what you need. Now, I'm going to give you a smoking deal because typically our program is $499. Here's the deal. For the next 6 hours, here's what you'll get. I'm going to give you our emotional breakthrough training for $199. That's $300 off. And here's a bonus. I'm going to give you our grocery store training video that I typically charge $50 for, that takes you through the entire grocery store and shows you exactly what to do to improve your brain function, to help your sleep, get rid of your ADD, boost your immune system, boost your brain function, all of this stuff. I'm going to throw it in there with you for free. And I'll also add you to our nutrition empowerment training closed Facebook group where you can ask questions and you can mingle with the rest of our crew. Here's what you get to do to take advantage of that. It's only for the next 6 hours, and it's only for the next 5 people. So if you feel called, take action. If you don't feel called, don't take action. Stay exactly where you're at. Okay? If you're choosing to move forward, go to thinkgreatloseweight.com, which is our website. Go to Education Center. Go to Emotional Breakthrough. Click on it. Enter the code when it opens up. Emotion. Hit apply. It'll knock the price down $300 to $199, and you can start your process. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out to me. What I would love for you to do now is leave a reply with what you walked away from tonight's training and what you're going to implement. If you're not going to implement anything, don't leave anything. Leave what you're going to implement and what you choose to integrate into your life. And trust me, look, if you're going to use the skills that I share with you, expect your life to change. There's no other way around it. Be open-minded. Give yourself permission to be comfortable being uncomfortable, because I assure you the only thing that's consistent in life is change. Unless you give yourself permission to initiate that change, you will be in reaction. My encouragement and invitation to you is to enter into response ability by the skill sets and the tactics that you understand how to use for your human experience. Master it. Master the game. Have an amazing day. Choose to make it fun and easy. Vote your victory. Give yourself permission to forgive yourself. Always step back into love. Give yourself permission to love yourself fully. See yourself as God sees you. Walk forward. Share your love, share your light, because our world needs it. I appreciate you. Have an amazing night. And you know the drill. Remember, if you don't make time for your wellness,
you will make time for your illness.
That's right. Later. Bye.